Good morning, students. Hope you all are well. So, we are discussing the chapter transpiration. So, all the experiments about transpiration already we have discussed. Now, we'll see that there are different types of transpiration and how this transpiration generally occurs through the lips. So, mainly we can categorize transpiration into three types. Okay, so the first one and the main that is the transpiration from the lips through the stomata, or sometimes it is known as stomatal transpiration. Okay. Next is directly from the surface of the leaves and the stems, that is the cuticular transpiration. And the last one, that is from the lenticels, which are very minute openings on the surface of the woody stems, not in leaves, on the surface of the stems. So that is the lenticular transpiration. Okay, so these are the three types. Stomatal transpiration, that is a opening, or it is a pore in the leaves. Okay, that means it is a transpiration through the leaves through the stomatal opening, and it is stomatal transpiration. Next is directly from the surface of the leaves and stem, both leaves and stem, that is cuticular transpiration. And the last one, that is the lenticular transpiration. Lenticels, these are very minute and microscopic openings on the surface of the stems or woody stems. So the main or the major transpiration that occurs through the stomata, or the stomatal transpiration is the main, and rest of these two sometimes this through this two processes the very little transpiration occurs. Okay, so let's start that what is the mechanism of stomatal transpiration. So first see the figure. Okay, so it is the diagram of actually the stomata and the leaf epidermis. The white portion or the small opening, that is the stoma, the opening. Okay, stoma or the stomata. And beside that there are this deep green portion, the deep green portion cell, that is known as the guard cell. Okay, so this opening is stoma, and after that this bean shaped structure, that is the guard cell, and inside that guard cell there is cell wall, there is chloroplast and nucleus is there. And after that the light green portion, that is actually the epidermal cell, means the epidermal cells of the leaves. Okay, okay. So stomata, these are the minute openings in the epidermal layer of the leaves. Epidermal layer means the outer layer of the leaves. So a stoma is surrounded by a bean-shaped guard cell, as you can see in this diagram. So during daytime, the stomata are widely open, primarily for the intake of carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. And the number of stomata, it may vary from plant to plant, but it generally ranges from 1000 to 10,000 per centimeter square. So in daytime, stomata generally opens. Why? Because to take carbon dioxide from the environment for the process of photosynthesis. So in stomatal transpiration, how this water will come out from this opening? So in stomatal transpiration, the water vapor escapes or goes out through the stomata of the lips. Okay, so we know that water are absorbed by the roots from the soil. So after absorbing this water, it will rises up from the stem, and at last reaches to the tissues of the leaves. You know that already, in absorption chapter you have read. So in the leaf there is the large number of spongy mesophyll cells. Okay, so spongy mesophyll cells are there in the leaves, and the surface of their cells, surface of these mesophyll cells, so these are exposed to the intercellular spaces. Okay, So these surface of the spongy mesophyll cells, these are exposed to the intercellular spaces, means the inside portion of the leaves. So these surfaces of the cells give out some of the water very as a thin film, means very little water, very little water gives out from the surface of the cells in the intercellular spaces. Okay, so the water from this film evaporates and the water vapor formed. The water comes out from the surface of the cell in the intracellular spaces, and then it will convert into the water vapor, and the water vapor saturated with the air in the intercellular spaces, right? Okay, so the water vapor then the water vapor have to goes out from the leaf through the process of transpiration. So the water vapor then diffuses into the other connecting intracellular spaces, means it is forming from one intracellular spaces, then from another intracellular spaces, and these are combined and finally reaches to the substomatal space, and from where it escapes through the stomata. Okay, the entire environment of water vapor from the surface of the cell and into the outside atmosphere is a result of diffusion, and the molecules of water vapor, like any gases, also move from the region of the higher concentration to the region of the lower concentration. Okay, okay, so let's see this diagram. As you can see, the first layer is cuticle, then there is upper epidermis. Okay, that means the epidermal layer of the leaves. Then this rectangular shaped cells, so these are the spongy palisade parenchyma. These are the palisade parenchyma, and after that some irregular structures. These are the spongy mesophyll cells, palisade mesophyll cells, and these are the spongy mesophyll cells. So as you can see, the outer surface of these spongy mesophyll cells, they are exposed in this gap. So this gap is the intracellular space. So from each of these spongy mesophyll cells which are exposed in the intracellular space, so from there a very thin water film will come out, and they are coming out in the intracellular spaces, from where they are saturated with the air and they form the water vapor, and through the water vapor, when this water vapor combine, it will move out through the epidermal space where the arrow is given, from where the water vapor is going out. So that is the not epidermal space, that is the stomatal space, or from the stomata the water vapor is going out from where the arrow is given. Okay, okay, so this next figure. Okay, so this next figure showing the movement of the water through the leaves and the cell sap in each cell. In each cell there is cell sap, right? So the cell sap in each cell, it gives a pressure or the target pressure outward on the cell wall. So this pressure forces some water out of the cell into the air space between the cells. Okay, so through the target pressure, some very little water will come out into the air space between two cells, and the water evaporates and the water vapor diffuses through the air spaces between the mesophyll cells. Means in each cell, in each mesophyll cells, through the target pressure, some of the water will come out into the intracellular spaces, or the air space between two cells, and from there it forms the water vapor and it diffuses out through the air spaces between the mesophyll cells into the substomatal space. Okay, from where it is finally goes out through the diffusion by the process of diffusion through the stomata, and the cells that lose the water in this way replaced it by drawing more of it from the nearest vein, because most of this water travels along the cell wall, and only a small quantity enter the cell by the process of osmosis. Okay, so let's see this figure number A. As you can see, the first layer, the yellowish layer where is the black dot is there, that is the epidermal layer, and after that there is the palisade parenchyma, and after that the irregular cells, these are the spongy parenchyma. Okay, so from each cell you have seen there is some space in between. So from each cell, through the process of diffusion, some water is coming into the intracellular spaces or the space between two cells, and from there it formed into the water vapor, and they are combined and coming into this intracellular space, or where it is given the substomatal pace or the movement by evaporation through so the water vapor is coming into this white portion or the intracellular space, and they combine and they goes out through the substomatal pace and through the stomata to the environment.